Welcome to our final video. In this video, we will discuss the extension to the Engineering Design Challenge. In our EDC extension, students will learn about and draw inspiration from musical instrument families for the design and construction of their echolocation devices. Students will incorporate the skills learned earlier in the unit to write and perform an original musical phrase to be used in the testing of their device. The musical phrase that students create must align with the criteria of the SABES Engineering Design Challenge, which states students will create a device for echolocation that can produce sounds with different pitch or volume. In addition, our Arts Integrated overlay provides two added extension criteria: identifying an instrument family that inspired your device and writing and playing a musical phrase with your echolocator. To prepare students to engage in this activity, we suggest reminding students of their musical phrases created earlier in the unit and having them practice that rhythm. It may be helpful for you as the facilitator to also prepare by finding a large space capable of an echo. While the devices can make its noises in any setting, echoes can only happen in large cavernous spaces like an outside area next to a large wall or the gym or cafeteria when no one else is there. Here's how you facilitate this activity. First, introduce the basics of the Engineering Design Challenge already in the unit. Students will be creating an echolocation device capable of producing sounds with different pitch and/or volume. Then, share different instrument families with the students using the attached slides. The instrument families covered include percussion, which creates sounds by hitting or striking, woodwinds, which create sounds from the vibration of moving air, brass, where sound is created from the vibration of the player's lips, and string, which creates sounds by plucking and vibrating a string. Most students will gravitate towards percussion for their echolocation devices, but this is not necessary. As I'll model in the demo, introducing students to the different instrument families will inspire them to create a different kind of echolocation device. Adding some simple and affordable additional materials like a kazoo, toy flute, whistle, etc. will open up the possibilities for types of echolocators students can build. Next, have students design, create, and build their echolocation devices as listed in the SABES curriculum, selecting the different instrument types and sounds. Students will also write an additional musical phrase to be played on their echolocator, making sure to include a change in volume or pitch as outlined in the project criteria. Here are some examples. Here's a very simple example of an echolocator device your students could build using simple materials and inspired by the string family of instruments. To build this echolocator device, I simply used an old deli container and some different size rubber bands. By wrapping them around the deli container, I can improvise a simple guitar, which would work as an echolocator and would be inspired by the string family of instruments. Now I'll show you how students could use this simple echolocator device to play the sound phrase that they write. Remember that the criteria of the echolocator device in the SABES curriculum is the ability to change either pitch or volume. This echolocator device very easily changes pitch based on the size of the rubber bands and how tightly wrapped they are around the container. I can use that difference in pitch to play the two different lines of my musical phrase. Let's see how that would look. For the first line, I will use the string that produces the low frequency pitch and play my musical phrase. Now I'll use the string that creates the highest pitch sound to play the second line of my musical phrase. This is my simple example of an echolocator device inspired by one of the musical instrument families, but feel free to encourage your students to get as creative as they like as they build their own. Once their devices are built and their musical phrases are written, head to a space capable of echoes. Again, outside near a large wall or in an unoccupied gym or cafeteria would be great locations. Students can then take turns testing their echolocation devices to play the musical phrase they've written. If possible, have students go one after another to create a long song of individual solos of various echolocation instruments. To evaluate this activity, we suggest using the rubric included in our EDC handout. This rubric aligns exactly with the existing SABES rubric while incorporating the two added criteria of our Arts Integrated overlay. Thank you so much for completing our course. We hope the activities you've learned are helpful, applicable, and fun in your classrooms.